Hey everybody, are you like me and you have a large blank wall that you're not quite sure what to do with? Hang a picture, set up some kind of stand with a vase and flowers. It can be a bit confusing as to the alternatives. Let me show you what I'm doing with one of our blank walls. We've got a wall in the kitchen, and one night I was thinking about what I'm going to be doing with this wall. It's quite a big area and it needs something a bit more to fill the space. So I came up with this idea in the middle of the night, basically dreamt it, and when I woke up next morning I drew the thing out. This is what I've come up with: different size boxes all stuck together, bugle batten screwed together, and hung on the wall, fixed to the studs on the wall, also with bugle batten screws. Rather than give you a cut by cut and screw by screw video, I thought I'd just give you a bit of a description of what's gone on here. We've got lots of miters. I had to work out the boxes as they would be sitting on the wall pretty accurately. Then came to get the timber, which is all pine, here in Australia, radiata pine. It's all 45mm in thickness, or almost 2 inches, and various widths from 140mm, 190, 240 up to 290. And so those will form different boxes. If you could imagine, some will be closer to the wall, some will stick out from the wall. So it should be a bit of a variety when it's looked at, and will take away from the right hand side where there is a CCTV sitting inside one box. So I don't want it to become the feature as it is at the moment. I want it to sort of disappear into all these boxes. I could have just used square cuts, but I think being in a prominent place in the house, the miter cuts will be much better in appearance. Multiple screw holes for the bugle batten screws, and also the finishing off, rounding off the screw holes with that little bit that gouges out the position for the head to sit in. Lots of filling with plaster because the timber is naturally knotty, so I've had to hide that, get rid of all those knots, fill them all up. I'm going to put a limed look stain on it, so I've just used natural plaster, and it will, like the pine, take on the colour of the estopole that I end up putting on it. So there's no problem with just using normal plaster as a filler. I've done this many times in other circumstances, and it works out really well, in my opinion. So that's basically the process. It's just a matter of screwing all the things together, using lots of PVA glue on the joints. Pine is a bit notorious for moving around a bit and shrinking over time slightly. It is kiln dried, but it will still shrink ever so slightly as it becomes accustomed to the conditions inside the house. There'll be another 3 boxes to be made, but I don't know the dimensions of those until these ones are in place. Placing them requires a bit of ingenuity, so I just grab whatever I can that's local and here right now. The first batch of boxes are now fixed to the wall. It's a matter now of measuring up the remaining gap and making up, according to my design, the last 3 boxes. Behind is a cavity because it's a sliding door, so I have to be careful with my fixing. It's a very large sliding door, it's over 1 metre wide. So as it slides back into the wall, it obviously comes well past some of the boxes. And in fact, I've got to keep my fixing to the last available stud, which was approximately here in the middle of that box, and then fixing the boxes together with also bugle batten screws. So that one is just going to be held in between the final box, which will be starting from right up high at door head height, is where I'll pick up the good fixing of a head trimmer above the door, out of sight there in the wall. And that will be the secure position for the top box, which will support the other 2 boxes. There is the finished product, all done and dusted. I was able to get good fixing above the sliding door there with the trimmer that goes across the top. So even though there's no studs, it's still fixed at the top and it's not going to go anywhere. Nothing too symmetrical, there's a little bit of symmetry there, but tried to keep the symmetry out of it as much as possible. So directing the eye to the boxes rather than to the TV. There you go, a bit of a different idea for an empty space, and I hope you can get some ideas that will help you in whatever project you might be facing. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate your input into what you think about this box space shelf affair, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye.